Welcome back to Gaijin Hideout. I'm Jeff. With me, as always, is Jesse, and today we are reacting to more Dragon's Dogma 2. Very real, 100% not rumor news. Big, real, serious news.
It's already confirmed, Jeff.
Definitely real news.
Throw it away. You don't need it.
I searched Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC leak, and it's a bunch of videos that have come up that, I don't think we need to take this with a grain of salt, like you said, Jesse. I think this is real news. No, there's a there's a leak that came out, so we wanted to talk about it because it's kind of gives us an excuse to talk about.
It's very interesting, if nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives us an excuse to talk about
even if it's just interesting fan fiction, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll get into it, but it gives us an excuse to talk about what we want to see in DLC as well.
I'm happy to do that, Jeff. I'll do that any time of the day, any time of the week.
So if you've seen videos like this, or you've seen like maybe an article or two from the reliable news outlets such as Game Crater.
Ah, yes, Game Crater, my favorite place to get news on the internet.
Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC rumored to be coming this November. To give you the context,
really, that's the best name you could come up with for a gaming website, without a doubt. I'm glad they went with that.
To give you the context. So a couple of weeks ago, this is from reliable source Kotaku. I'm just full of reliable sources right now, but
you're full of it, all right.
Yeah, I'm full of it. This happened like a week ago. Capcom asked players if they want Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC, and the long and short of that is that there's this user survey that you can take for Dragon's Dogma 2. You get a free wallpaper or something. And at the bottom of it's one of the last pages, it says, would you be interested in purchasing DLC for Dragon's Dogma 2 if additional contents were to be released? So that was last week. And then these leaks started coming out that are suggesting details about the DLC. So the first one, as far as we can tell, was this Reddit post by this guy, and he posted in Monster Hunter World subreddit by Hankuai, and he said, random leak I found on Twitter. I think I found what he found on Twitter, and the tweet was in Japanese. I don't know how legit it is, but this is what everybody's pointing to as a source. That's what I'm showing you for context. But it says confidential on it. It looks like it's an internal Capcom document that got leaked. So
supposedly, yeah.
And it's from 2022 to TBD 2026. But you can see there was like Resident Evil 4 and then Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways, which I'm assuming is the DLC for Resident Evil 4. So like March 24th, and then is when the game dropped, and then the DLC came out September 21st. And then, so Dragon's Dogma 2, March 22nd, and then November 29th is supposedly the DLC called The Dragon Princess. And then it's like the same concept for Monster Hunter Wilds in some way, it looks like, except maybe spread out a bit more. So that's what people are looking at. This could all be made up. Again, I don't know, but I'm just...
We just got handsy with Photoshop, yeah.
Yeah, and then beyond that, there was this post on 4chan that came up, and so people think it's like a developer or something. It's like very particular. Again, could just be made up, but
on 4chan, no, Jeff, no, I refuse to believe that.
No, I trust Anon. Anon's never led me astray, except when he's like severely spread misinformation all over the internet. So, Dragon's Dogma 2, The Dragon Princess. So title, Dragon Princess. DLC is considerably bigger than Dark Arisen. DLC isn't planning to alter content from the base game. New area is swamp and tundra of a country called Galacia, based on European northern countries, which is cool.
Tundra area, I'm down for that.
Yeah, tundra and swamp. I don't know if I've seen that combination that much right next to each other.
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
And that's cool. It's based on European, like Northern European countries.
Of course.
That's very Lord of the Rings coded.
All the best fantasy stories come from. Yeah. What was that swamp in Lord of the Rings? Like the Dead Swamp or something? I forget the name of it. But yeah,
I don't know
what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's about the size of the main map in the game, Batal and Vernworth.
Oh my God. Jesus, that's huge. I mean, that's been my favorite part of the game so far, is just literally getting lost in the world and running around.
Yeah, so if it's that big, so big if true. I mean, literally big if true. Like that's huge, and that's really exciting. It will be accessible by some points in the east of Vernworth. Story is about another arisen female. Chosen by another dragon.
Is this the Netflix edition, Jeff?
Maybe. I think it's like there's another dragon over there, and she's also and so there's another arisen.
She needs a man to help her teach her how to be the arisen. I got it.
Oh, maybe. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, can we romance the arisen, the female arisen?
Oh,
because then I'm down. Then I think I'm down. I think I'm down. You know, if not, I don't care that much. But it's like, oh, okay, oh, arisen but girl, I get it. You know, but if we can romance her or something, then you know.
Well, to be fair, you can play the main story as a girl in this game. So
I know that's why I thought it was weird to be like, it's like they're pointing that out. As, it's a female arisen.
It's
like,
a girl.
It's like I think a lot of us are playing as a female arisen already. You know,
Yeah.
so
Well, they have the best armor, Jeff.
that might also be a sign that this is like this is a troll. Like this isn't real, but you know, whatever. Let's pretend it is.
I don't know.
The main story is only accessible after the main game, but the region can be accessed at any point in the game. So same as the current map. DLC price will be around $30. It will be the biggest ever made by
That's not too
Capcom, and it has been in works alongside the main game. So
Okay, that's an interesting little foil there.
yeah, we'll get back to that. I'm going to read the rest of it because it's related, I think, to that point too. But there will be around 10 new big monsters and around 35 new enemy types. The ones I've seen are a giant snow troll, a giant spider bear, I guess,
Spider bear, what?
giant something bear, poison wyvern, and Cerberus. And then in parentheses, Hydra and cockatrice are not one of them. Release date is November, but it might get delayed. So that's coming. So if that's
that's
true,
kind of cool. If it comes out, right around winter,
yeah, because
like
it's
that.
like got the ice stuff going on. So if that's
Yeah.
true, that's really cool. I think that'll play really well, especially if they have a if they get a full blown ice dragon in there, that'd be good for all
I
of
would love that. That's a great idea. Of course,
for all the brokenhearted like Game of Thrones fans that never got,
all of them, Jeff.
which is all of us, yeah, that never got our full, dramatic culminations with ice dragons and fire dragons.
I'm
and stuff.
still like psychically scarred by that last season. Anyway,
Yeah. So that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot for the DLC. I don't know if some people will be like irked about like, okay, well the game, the only critique of the game is it needs more big monsters and stuff. So I don't know if they're irked about having to pay for more of that, but in terms of like the sheer amount of content that I've played through right now, like I'm 65, 70 hours in and I haven't touched the story at all. And
it's insane that you can just do that in this game. I love it.
And I've been talking to people because I know there's the thing about the microtransactions and people were all upset about that and stuff.
Yeah.
I've talked to someone who likes
came in.
the two most skeptical people I know about video games are Jesse and one other friend that I have online. Jesse doesn't play video games, and he has played this game. This is the most he's played a game since Baldur's Gate came out.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
And the other guy who's very skeptical of like any kind of games and stuff like that, he bought all of the microtransactions in the game on principle because he was like, I am getting so much of my money's worth out of the game. So frankly,
that's fair.
If they're describing it, given the terms that they're describing it in, $30 is like, people would have paid more than $30 for it.
It's cheaper than I expected it to be,
Yeah.
honestly, considering how if what they're saying is true, like they're giving you another like gigantic map.
Yeah.
Plus, potentially, it sounds like a lot of new monsters and content
Yeah.
and stuff. It is definitely cheaper than what I thought, especially if you look at the base game being like $70. So
Yeah. So that's that's a great sign. If nothing else, I think maybe it's reasonable enough. They're not going to get so much backlash. Maybe that's why they're keeping the price pretty low. But that's kind of standard for expansion size DLCs, I guess. I think the Elden Ring one is about that, going to be that price as well. I think it might be 40. I don't remember, but that's a lot of new monsters, man. Like a lot of new big monsters, a lot of new enemy types.
That's not too. I mean, there's not even that many in the base game, right? Like, how many are there? Like 12 or something. It's got to be right around that number.
It's right around the same size game. Is what it sounds like. So that's pretty cool.
Crazy.
That's pretty cool. I think it's interesting that they developed them side by side. I think in the past, like people would have been like, well. So if this is true, again,
why didn't you
if
just put
true,
the content in the game? Boohoo! Yeah,
yeah, but I think I really strongly suspect, and you guys can let me know if you want me to do a video on this more, because I could probably talk to someone who's done game development. I'm a software engineer. I've got connections, but like I have this suspicion that the scale of single player games is getting unmanageable, and unsustainable.
Yeah, that's fair.
So. I think the fact, like, if that's true, that it's not that they made the DLC after the fact, or like they like halfway tacked it on and they like intentionally developed it side by side. It's like they're just. I feel like they're like aware that it's like everyone's gonna binge the game when it's released, and like they know how much it costs to make the game, and so they're gonna section this part off, wait till everyone's sick of the first part of their own game, and then put it out. Like I think it's getting to that point where it's like so expensive and so because it's so immersive and expansive. I don't want to like defend corporations, but I'm a developer. I have sympathy for developers, not users. No offense, gamers, but I do think like. I mean, for what I'm playing, like I'm down for it. I'm fine with it. It's like an MMO without like the people. Yeah. So you're gonna have expansions and more stuff.
If the base game had felt like they cut out a bunch of content to put this in, and I guess you can argue like, oh, they should have had those developers working on the game. But
that's not how that works for a game either.
Yeah, I know. And again, the base game just feels so full in terms of content, like that it really doesn't bother me that they were working on this alongside the base game, so I don't have an issue with it.
I'm a big fan after, this is a weird analogy to make, but the game we were playing a lot before we found Dragon's Dogma was Pokémon, and that obviously it's not even in the same category, but like...
Oh my God. Yeah.
But like...
Don't get me started.
The thing I liked about Pokemon was that they were doing these huge expansive DLCs. Like I thought that was cool because not only was it like a whole new section, a whole new game added onto your game that you could like, explore. You had like new like story and stuff like that, but you could tell for all its flaws, they did try and learn from their mistakes in the DLC. These big expansive DLCs, they did like try and learn from like the any blowback that they got and stuff. So I kind of like this concept of like, okay, the single player games are going to be growing bigger and bigger and bigger to where they resemble like MMOs or these big multiplayer games, and then we're going to put expansions on them and stuff like that. I'm kind of all for that. It's, if nothing else, it's going to make me more like I'm going to help me slowly get more comfortable like getting into a game like Final Fantasy 14 or something like that, where it's like 1,000 hours to like do the story because they've added so much onto it or whatever. So I'm here for it, and just personally, I'm not sure how much. I'm curious to see how much I would enjoy a tundra area and a swamp area.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about the swamp, but that tundra area sounds fantastic. I don't know. Swamp areas in games just tend to be miserable in general. I hope they find a way to break that trend.
Yeah, they kind of touched all that. Like Dragon's Dogma, there's not a ton that I was really looking for in terms of environment that I feel like I'm missing out on.
No.
I think maybe some beaches, but I don't know if I'd have a lot of fun spending a lot of time on the beach in Dragon's Dogma 2, to be honest with you.
You're not a beach guy, Jeff. No.
I am a beach guy, but I just don't know if it's that kind of game, It's like it's really like a game,
when the water kills you instantly? No.
It's really a game where you feel good, like just getting immersed in nature and stuff like that a lot of times. So they like put you in like a forest, or they put you in like a misty area, or a desert with like mountains all over you, or you're on a volcanic island, but you're in like a canyon near lava. There's walls on either side of you. There's like you're very immersed. So I guess now that I say that, I see why they went with swamp and tundra, that kind of a thing. So, yeah, I mean, it all sounds good to me. Big if true, could all be made up. Personally,
big if true, probably bullshit.
Personally, like, I would like to see more like giant bosses. I don't know if that's a sign I should go check out Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
If that's like what I'm getting the most out of with this game, but
well, that's the best stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if they added another vocation too. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. That was the other thing is I think a lot of people were wondering if they were going to add back in like the older vocations that didn't make it in, like Strider or Mystic Knight or something like that. But
Mystic Knight, I can see. I think Strider's gone.
Strider's pretty covered, at this point.
We don't need that. I don't feel like. I'm sure somebody's upset about it, but you can kind of just do a custom Strider if you play the Warfare in a sense. But
probably.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. I'm sure somebody will like it.
But yeah, I think that's the only thing that was missing from this was like, are we going to get any new? I guess you would need a new slew of them, like a new like 3 of them, or 3 different ones for you to choose from.
I would be okay with 1 or 2, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, one or 2 I think I'd be fine with.
Yeah.
Again, it already just feels like you're getting so much for your money with this DLC potentially. Yeah. If any of this is true, so throwing in another 3 vocations on top of that, I'd feel like I was robbing Capcom at that point.
Yeah, and
although with the amount of frames they stole from me, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, hopefully the frames are better. And maybe
please,
maybe
God.
Have less NPCs so the frames are better.
Yeah, that's why they're not doing any more forests, Jeff. It's just going to be barren tundras and dead swamps.
Well, if it's a tundra, it's a lot of moving particles. I don't think they have a problem with the environment though. I think it's just the people. So like if it's so if it's just places where people are, it's uninhabitable areas. With monsters in them. Yeah.
Everyone's
basically
dead.
So hopefully they add a vocation. I don't know what the odds are of that. I don't know how much that would unbalance the game or something.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know that this potentially fake leak is exclusive in that sense,
Yeah, I guess covering
everything.
I guess that would really trigger people in retrospect because then it's like, okay, now there's whole vocations locked behind DLC, locked behind a paywall. Maybe it's not a good move for them.
Well,
Jeff,
I could
take it or leave it.
I'm curious if they were to add a vocation. Is there anything you would like to see potentially?
It would have to be something kind of off the wall, like I'm thinking maybe like, maybe they could borrow a little bit from like, how like Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, they have like that ancient technology stuff. If they had some kind of technologist class, like a Magitech class.
Oh, a Magitech. Yeah. You're all about that.
Where he's using like, he's using like ancient ruins to like shoot a gun or something, like something crazy like that, but it's like, it's very like nerfed. It's not like, oh, you have a gun, you win now, but it's like, it's like, it's some kind of like massive like expenditure of stamina, or there's only like certain, they could do it in a Dragon's Dogma way to where there's huge trade-offs.
I just want an unarmed class, just me and my bare knuckles. That's what I want, Jeff.
A barbarian. Just something
not
like
even
that.
Necessarily like a barbarian, but just like a brawler type.
Just a brawler,
martial artist, maybe even
martial artist.
Style it as like a D&D monk, even.
Yeah, like a brawler. Oh, maybe a brawler that has like a minor heal ability or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe make it a little bit like magic archery almost, in the sense that you use like your ki or whatever to fire blasts or levitate a little or something. I don't know. I mean, this game is so crazy. There's a lot they could do with it, but
yeah,
we'll see. We may be speculating on nothing here.
Last one that I thought of off the top of my head that would be fun if they were going to add one, maybe like a summoner. Like
that would be kind of neat. Yeah,
just like
that would be interesting.
You got the mage, you got the sorcerer.
I like that idea.
You could do the summoner that just summons. I don't know how you do it.
What if you could summon like ghost versions of the bosses? That would be kinda cool.
Yeah, and you like unlock them somehow. Maybe you have to kill the bosses to get them or something.
Yeah, kill them enough times. You like harvest their essence to summon them. That'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool. So, but yeah, that's all we got for you. This is just some general rumor stuff and just an excuse for us to kind of think about the DLC and stuff like that. So let us know in the comments below, what would you actually like to see in the DLC? Do you think this is real or not? But more importantly, let us know,
that's the biggest question. Is this nonsense or
is
not?
this real or nonsense? But like, also let us know, what do you want to see in a DLC if you need a DLC? Presumably we're going to get one since we got Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, but you know, do you want one, and what would you like to see in it? What would you pay for, basically? So, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. We would love to have you like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're streamers. That's our main thing. We go live every Saturday, 3:30 EST. Right now we're playing Dragon's Dogma 2, but just in general, we like a lot of different kinds of action RPGs and like games from Japan in general. So if you have any suggestions for games you want to see us like react to for trailers and stuff, we can certainly do that. You let us know. But the live streams we do, they're really awesome. We do like different themed live streams. We just did one where it was like kind of like speed running, how fast I could kill any bosses that we ran across using the thief vocation. And this next week, I think we're going to do it, do something similar, but with the warrior vocation. We're going to see if we can outdo the thief's time, because we got some tips from chat that the warrior
was ridiculous.
that the warrior could get even crazier. So I'm going to play around with that this week.
Warrior's pretty fun once you get into it.
But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in chat. Peace out.
See you.